So welcome you back to Vietlish live stream. And in today's episode, in this live stream series, we're going to talk about the upcoming Halloween, the upcoming festival on the holiday that the children, or let's say the youth, are very looking forward to, which is the Halloween. So yeah, Halloween is not really, let's say, not really new in Vietnam, and it has been here for a while. So today we're going to have a closer look into the Halloween and what would people do on this festival, and how do we celebrate them differently from other countries. So let's go first. Session content here, we're going to have three parts as usual. First part, we're going to talk about some festival. I'm also give you some clues about the upcoming festival in Vietnam as well as around the world. And then secondly, we're going to have to focus on the main character of today's series. Today's session would be the Halloween festival. And in Halloween part, we're going to have a look into how people around the world celebrate it. And lastly, would be a very let's say, a pretty new topic we have in English would be about the dining ethic. So dining ethic are the manner or the behavior that included in a set of rules that you should follow when you are dining. Okay, perfect. So the first word we're going to have a look into today would be festival. I also included the IPA transcription for you, so you can figure it out easier. So festival, we all know about it, and this word itself also has maybe 2 or 3 meanings, but the meaning we are looking into today would be festival, which means a special day or period, usually in memory of a religious event with its social activities, food, and ceremonies. In some case, festival can be a big, let's say, a big combination of music, arts, and parade. But that would be something different from what we are mentioning today. So I'm not gonna talk about it, but let's stick into this definition. It is a special day or period in memory of a religious event. All right. And to be honest, in Vietnam or around the world, annually, we have several festivals. And yes, we are all looking forward to the festival. It would be a chance for you to reunite with your family, or it can be the chance for you to have a day off. So you will looking forward to it for either one of the 2 reasons mentioned. But for me, it would be the latter one. Here, some upcoming festival we have in Vietnam. Let's say in the upcoming months are October and November. So I'm going to mention 2 of them here. Would be the 20th of October, would be the Vietnamese Women's Day. This day is a special day for the Vietnamese women, where when the men can actually use this day to show the gratefulness and appreciates toward their loved one. And also it helps to remind the men about the importance of the women for the society and the nation also. And within the same date, but in the next month, in the following month, after October, would be the 20th of November. 20th of November is the Vietnamese Teachers' Day. And on this day, it would be a day for the student to show gratitude toward their teacher and for what they have done to the students. And this day also served as an opportunity for graduates to reunite and relive all memories. I see a lot of, let's say, people choose this day to have a reunion, like the class reunion. But you know, in this modern day, class reunion is something very luxury and not many people can attend it. So, but if there is a chance, just do it because it would be a very good memory for you later in your life, I bet. So that is what happened in Vietnam for the next 2 months, as you can see. Maybe I swipe a little bit too hard or okay. And all right, but if we have a look outside the world, let's say look into other countries or other cultures, specifically in today we're going to mention about the United States. So in United States, for the upcoming 2 months, October and November, we're going to have two, let's say, two important or two big festivals. Firstly, let's mention the Halloween, or on the October 31st. Halloween is like a special day celebrated each year on the October 31st, and it evolves in a day of activities like trick or treating, which you may have heard about, or carving a jack-o'-lanterns. Jack-o'-lanterns. If you didn't know about this word, jack-o'-lantern is actually a pumpkin, like a round orange vegetable. Yeah, a round orange vegetable, and it's pretty big. And you're gonna carve is actually using a sharp tool to make details upon a subject. Carving a jack-o'-lantern is to create a scary-looking pumpkin. And then we're going to have some festive gathering, which is a great opportunity for family or friends to reunite and have some talk together. And then lastly, we have donning costumes and eating treats. Eating treats, it would be, let's say, the best part because it is your effort of hard working during the day. And seeing the amount of candy you have in your bag is feel like a rush in dopamine for me. Okay, and then beside having Halloween at the end of the October, the American will also have the Thanksgiving on the fourth Thursday of November each year. And Thanksgiving would be used to be a time to give thanks to all the sacrifice and hard work done for the harvest. Great. So we're gonna moving on to the main character today would be the Halloween. And yes, as mentioned at the beginning of the session, Halloween is not really new in Vietnam. It's been here for a while and been in the world for another while. But Halloween is celebrated differently in Vietnam in comparison with other countries, in this case, America. So in Vietnam, let's say I would make it simpler for you or easier to understand for you. When I mentioned Halloween in different category or in different field. So let's say for the first field we're going to have here would be the education field or some English center to be specific. Some English center would organize Halloween related event and activity in order to create a playful and yet informative environment for their students. So in this day and age, the students are, let's say, have more opportunity to getting to know about the words. So Halloween is not an exception. And on these days, some English center would create the opportunity for them to, let's say, transform into a character they like and scaring other people. That is what a kid would do. All right. And for businesses, let's say businesses would take this event or this date as an advantage to freshen up their appearance, or maybe to just adjusting to adapt to the current date and age movement. So as you can see, I gave you a picture of a small bar or a pub that with the decoration of Halloween theme. This looks pretty spooky. And that is for Vietnam. But have you ever questioned like how is Halloween celebrated abroad? So you may have seen on some TV show or some movie or some films, let's say in some book maybe, the most popular or let's say the easiest activity we can see would be to carve a jack-o'-lantern. As I mentioned, what is jack-o'-lantern? You can see on the right side of the screen. It's a big pumpkin, look really scary and spooky. So carving a jack-o'-lantern would be a traditional activity people would do during Halloween. And beside that, let's say trick or treat is also a must when it comes to Halloween. And when you already have the jack-o'-lantern, you can decorate it. You can use it to decorate your house. And beside that, some additional decoration I have to mention here would be skull skeletons or even ghosts figures. Yeah, of course they are all figures, they're not real. And for the people who enjoying the Halloween festival, they would, apart from doing some those traditional things, they would come up with other ideas. Maybe it would be a time for you to reunite. So how about hosting a game night would be a great idea, right? And for some, it would be a time to relax. So let's say some Netflix movie would do the job well. And our recommendation for this Halloween would be The Strangers movie, which were produced in 2008, or Things Heard and Seen, produced in 2021, and lastly, The Blondie in 2020. But if you are not a person who into movies, but you are a bookhead, so you can actually curl up yourself with a scary book to end a Halloween night happily. So our recommendation for some scary book would be, or horror book would be The Halloween Tree, Dracula, Frankenstein, and The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. You can check that out, but if you have any more, let's say better or like personal preferences, suggestion, you just put it in the comment section down below and let us know. We appreciate that. And in order to prepare for Halloween, as I just mentioned, the people would carve some pumpkins to create the jack-o'-lantern. And then they will decorate their house to, let's say, to make it look as spooky as possible and to fit in the crowd. I mean, like if the whole street decorate their house in the Halloween theme, but your house is left alone, you wouldn't want that to be happen, right? And then decide on a costume. So everybody wants to have a best costume to go for trick or treat, as well as scaring other people. So let's say this is a great chance or it's a great day to dress up to a different person. And then lastly, yes, this is where the costume finally do the job, is to scare someone with your own costume. So yeah, Halloween is all about fun and joy. So just go out there and let's say be a scariest version of yourself and scare other people. And yes, let's moving on to the next part, what to eat on Halloween. So let's say Halloween is not all about eating, but all fun and games all have to end with some recovery. So in this case, a good dinner would do the job. But let's say in Vietnam, we don't have specific traditional food for Halloween. So yeah, as I listed here in Vietnam, anything edible would do the job well. But in the US, you can see we have quite a lot of sugar in this list. Would be including the pumpkin pie or caramel candy apples. I see one sugar or caramel corn also. And for those candy in the trick or treat game, you may see these branded. Most often, I would include the Three Musketeers or Kit Kat, Twix, M&M Hershey, or candy corn. And last but not least, there would be some cookie for the gathering. Would be great, right? But when you are treated with good food, I mean, like let's say when you are treated with good food and you want to express what you like or what you don't like, and lastly, let's say to give compliment, here are some useful expressions you can use when upon Halloween or any other occasion, to be honest, not Halloween only. So firstly, to tell what you like, you can say my favorite food during Halloween is or are. But if you're using it for another occasion, not Halloween, you can just say my favorite food is are. And I would like to have maybe the name of the food for, let's say, dinner, breakfast, lunch, super, brunch, any meal of the day. You can use it universally. And then it would be great having your favorite food for dinner for Halloween, whichever the occasion may be. And then to tell what you dislike, it's going to be the opposite way of the thing of those sentences I just mentioned. So it's going to be pretty easy. I don't think this dishes is for me, or I don't think this meal is for me. And secondly, I don't like the food name for Halloween or for this occasion. And then I rather have, okay, so this sentence is pretty complicated. I'm going to give an example. For me, I'm allergic to seafood. So let's say, in this case, in the first spot, I can mark it here. We want some numbers to make it easier to understand. All right, so number one would be something I don't like, and number two, oh, sorry, number one would be something I like, and number two would be something I don't like. So in this case, I'm allergic to seafood. So I'm gonna say I would rather have a pie for Halloween than seafood. So in this third sentence, you will show your priority or your preferences for something over something. Mhm. And lastly, to give compliment on the food you are served, let's say there are many different ways or many different objectives for you to express your gratitude or express your, let's say, mm, your admiration for the food. So you can either say this dish or meal is amazing, or delicious, or tasty, or mouth-watering. Either way, it would work very well. And yeah, it can either be simply as taste great or amazing. Some more advanced word I want you to know here would be flavorful or exceptional or splendid. And lastly, a gesture wouldn't harm anybody, so a chef kiss would do the job. Chef kiss. And yep, that would be some useful expression you can use for Halloween. And upon, let's say, upon being served on a table, as you can see, this is the last part we're gonna have for the live stream today, as well as, let's say, some type of lesson, some soft skill you can use in your life also. Dining ethic is a very important skill you need to have upon meeting your client or your partner. Because it shows how you understand dining ethic. And yeah, let me break it down so it would be easier for you to understand. So the dining ethic is the manner or the set of manner or the rules of behavior you have to do upon having a meal. And a formal table setting here would include 11 items, but that would be a little bit extra because I don't think I would use all of them. But yeah, for the wine only, you're gonna have four wine and water. You're gonna have four different type of glasses, as well as the silverware. Silverware are spoon, fork, and other stuff, and knife. We're gonna have five more items, maybe no, not five, six, and then we're gonna have salt, pepper, all the stuff. But that is the setting. I'm not gonna mention it here. But what I'm mentioning here would be the ethic. So what you have to do upon having a meal. So firstly, it is about your napkin. So napkin, you would want to put it on your lap with the fold forward your waist as soon as you're sitting down the table. And the napkin should be remain on your lap throughout the entire meal. Place your napkin on your chair or to the left of your plate if you leave the table for some situation. And after get your napkin settled down, we're gonna have to order and then we're gonna be served. So upon ordering and being served, there would be some advice I want you to take into consideration. Firstly, don't order the most expensive item from the menu, appetizers or dessert, unless your host encourage you to do so. And yeah, do not choose, let's say, the strongest alcohol on the list also. And avoid ordering items that are messy and difficult to eat. Let's say in this case, the most familiar food or the most familiar dish you can have would be spaghetti and maybe French onion soup. And yeah, while waits for being served, unless the individual has not been served, encourage you to begin eating. Mhm. And during the meal, let's say you just have to cut slowly and eat slowly with a few small bites of your meat at a time. Then maybe this one you already know, but chew with your mouth closed and do not talk while you're chewing. Pass salt and pepper together in each hand if you are requested to do so. And yeah, taste your food before seasoning it before because you may ruin it and you may make it too salty or too weird to eat. And yes, lastly, let's beware of different eating styles. So in this case, we're going to have two main different eating style will be the continental and European style. So in the continental and European style, we're going to cut the food with the right hand and using the left hand to hold the food while cutting and eating. For the American style, we're going to cut the food with the right hand and holding the food on the left and then switching hands to eat with the right hand. So those are, let's say, some common dining ethic I want you to consider while having a meal. So it will make you look more professional as well as having more knowledge while eating. Thank you. I hope today's live stream session would do something for you and provide you with some useful information. You can actually put it into practice. And this is, yeah, some useful expression, let's say, to share your opinion upon having a discussion on the table. So let's say there are some common sentences or common expression like from my point of view or from my perspective or as far as I am concerned, in my opinion, and lastly, personally, I think. And if you agree with the opinion of somebody on the table, you can say, I share your opinion, or I couldn't agree more. It would be something more similar, like exactly my thought, and I'm with you on that, and we share the same thought. There are various of useful expression when showing agreement or to share your opinion. But if you see these expression are not enough, you can have a look on the internet, or you can, if you have some better suggestions, just put it in the comment section for us. Good. And that is also the end of the content we have to provide for today's live stream session. So thank you for tuning in, and please follow our page for more content. Thank you.